Last one walked away. Beer felt almost psychic. And standing there, right after the blast. He wondered how many were killed. He got on the horn. What's the damage? Beer asked. B. Looks like we lost about 100 people. More replied. A lot of jade. Killed too. Looks like they don't care. Most of the commandos are still alive. Good to hear. But I had a sensation. We lost a lot of people. Our people. We immediately felt a little guilt. Like he implied by the local guerrillas. Guerrillas weren't worth much. Here was Fortish. He was also Chromish. These Englishmen of Liverpool were his countrymen. It wasn't like he was fighting in some faraway land like let's say like in Akun or Asia, where he didn't know the people, the locals. Where he didn't know the locals. You know, the locals are their customs, their history. Almost wrote customer there. Customer. No. Let's see. These Englishers. Well, he's playing somewhere. They're all our people. Rapier corrected. The Liverpoolians and commandos. I know. Alan said. Your people are all still alive. But that might change. We don't get back up. We got the more mortars and artillery coming in. Did I say just mortars earlier? We got big patrol boats opening up from the shoreline, up the shoreline. They have their share. Heavy firepower too. I understand. Beer replied. Clicked off. Rapier imagined of the various targets. Back waiting for him. Back at the coast. The tugboats. Were things he was going to enjoy blowing, taking out first, the most. He'd blow those bastards right out of the water. Naturally. He'd deal with the artillerymen and mortarmen first, since they had to Are golems there? Golems are here. Golems are approaching from the perimeter. Opening up about the shoreline. They got their share of heavy firepower too. Yeah. As they had to pay for killing 100 Liverpoolian guerrillas. And the golems too. That beer would knock them all out. All out. A warrior. Got around the next corner. Finding 2 guards in a well-lit hallway. 5-meter away. Getting down on one knee. Rapier put 5 rounds in their direction. Getting both of them with 2 shots to the head. Rapier wasn't sure where the extra round went. But he didn't miss either. Dropped lifelessly. Once I take over a golem, I'm gonna need you guys to storm the ground floor of the main hangar. Clear it out. Beard told his men, I'm gonna take out who I can. It's a 60mm or whatever gun the golem happened to be equipped with. Rapier thought he was more seasoned with the 60mm ITT 46, the golem standard. Rapier supposed he preferred tried and true weapons to anything more exotic. Like one of those acid capsule shooting launchers or some kind of giant flamethrower sort of weapon. Or one of those 100-barrel anti-personnel cannons. And that could knock a whole army company off their feet. One volley. Let's see. Yes, sir. Rapier reply. Rapier's men. Loops, including Sergeant Deza Milu. Replied. Are you a Sergeant Milu? Yep, it says you're a sergeant, so you're a sergeant. May, if you survive, you'll get promoted. Who am I kidding? Nobody's getting out of this book alive. Nobody. Killing off characters is important in a war story, you know, folks? Gotta show that the stakes are high, you know? Maybe we reached the locker room, finding a single man who was getting into a single Jade pilot who was half naked and getting into a flight suit. Those Jade pilots then bottled with them. Then wearing regular combat uniforms without any body armor or their dress uniforms. Most of the cockpits, those golem cockpits had a nice heat, air cooling air conditioner inside them. So unless the suit was compromised and fire was shooting in all directions, the cockpit didn't get hot. Rapier saw Rapidier. I guess that's a good alternative name for rapier if I decide to change it. Rapier saw a face concealing helmet adjacent to the pilot. Immediately got an idea. He knew then that he was gonna. It looked like the plan he came up with might work. The only issue was that the Jade pilot's uniform looked a bit compact, looked a bit small for him. Jade actually came quite a variety of sizes. They weren't all tiny like the jets. Excuse me. Let's see, do I need to say it, folks, that Rapier is a man of his time? He fought in World War II against the Japanese. He's not gonna call them the Japanese every time. In fact, he'd probably call them less politically correct names if I'm going totally accurately. Let's see, check. Should check on that. Nothing you need to worry about, folks. Editing is all up to me. Hey, what size are you? Rapier asked the pilot who had his back to him. Said pilot was the only fellow. A lone pilot. Yeah. I don't need to say that again. Said the pilot looked over his shoulder, and Rapier immediately put two in his face, and he slumped down dead across the bench, just like it was a stone bier in a tomb. Platform pedestal. I never thought of putting dead people on a pedestal, besides metaphorically. Guess I associate pedestal with some tall pillar-like thing, mentally. All these weird different names for tombs, mausoleums, crypts. I get the terminology mixed up all the time. Boy, I have an editor someday who can set me straight. Tell me what the difference between a tomb, mausoleum, crypt. What the hell you call those things that are like above ground tombs, but they're sitting up, not just sitting like in a tomb cemetery among tombstones. I don't know. Like the ones in New Orleans, I guess. Those fancy ones that people only rent. And then they put them in a coffin eventually. It seems like a weird way to do things, but New Orleans has its own character, so I won't question it. I should have a scene where my characters visit New Orleans. Not much reason to in this story, but maybe some other one someday. Beard didn't feel guilty. The Jade pilot looked old and seasoned. Probably blew away like countless Allied troops who were fleeing the battle before him in his suit, 20-meter tall suit, unable to do harm him in any way. Yeah, some stories, you know, the characters, they refuse to kill. Kind of a weird thing. Like when you're in a setting where everyone's killing each other and going nuts, I mean... Sometimes that's annoying. Like a guy kills 100 people and you just let him live with that. Or he does something terrible, or something else that's terrible, and you just let him live. I freaking don't understand. If these people survive and escape, they'll do more terrible things to people, so you should stop them. At least that's my view. They're always, even if you kill every bad guy you find, at least in a fictional context, or even in a real context, there will still be plenty of bad guys left tomorrow, you know? There's literally no end to them. That's one resource this world will never run out of. Bad people. Totally bad, terrible people. Even if they're not evil exactly, there's still people who are like, you know, rats. Just very thoroughly bad, unpleasant people. God damn it, why are there so many little blibby blobby things on my creatures over here by me that I keep having to brush them off? This damn leprosy. This damn leprosy. Making me have all this stuff coming out my head, my body. All this these dead skin cells. I don't know. Let's see. Nah, fuck it. I'll fix it later. Okay, let's see. I'm not even gonna harm him in any way. Any way? You harm him in any way? He probably did worse things. Made these pilots took part in big uprisings against Jade Rule. Tens of thousands of people ended up massacred. Maybe if he wasn't working for a group, for a body as foul as the Jade Empire, Rapier might have just knocked the guy out. Like some hero in a pulp story. At least the ones where the hero refused to kill. This was war. Rapier wasn't gonna leave some skilled enemy pilot alive to cause trouble for his fellow soldiers later on. When the time I'll get his uniform on. Watch the door. Rapier muttered. And strip the dead man of his garments, which he was only half wearing at the time he left the world. Anyway, it was a tight fit. Rapier had to take everything off. Just barely fit in it. Clothes. The helmet was a looser fit, thankfully, so he wasn't going to have it squeezing on his brain. Rapier planned on ditching the helmet when its time as a mask was complete. It was a motorcycle like helmet with a black glass visor. Visor, is that the right term? It and the uniform were white in color. Besides that, it almost looked like the uniform had a bit of metal to it. White. metal padding, bit of armor under it, perhaps to protect the pilot if he had to abandon the ship, the suit, and run around on the ground for a while. Rapier put the helmet on, found a place to put his holstered 10mm pistol. He put the helmet on immediately. Rapier looked to his men. Comrade gave him the thumbs up. Okay, let's get out of here. Said, when you hear trouble in the main room, hangar, that's your cue. Join the party. Right, sir. The man replied. 3 minutes later. The artillery hammered the dockyard 3 times in the time it took Rapier to get to the main hangar room. It was a very tall room, naturally, over 25 meters in height, with a central elevated control platform with a control center for the room up there. Doors controlled the big front door, which was open at the moment. A big concrete courtyard visible beyond it, and beyond that, the streets of the ordinary streets of Liverpool. There, along the side walls of the room, were the golem stations. Most had been vacated, with just the support platform and the elevator, and the raised elevator and platforms. Support base and the raised elevator and platforms, catwalks. Catwalk that the pilots and maintenance crews used when the golem was situated on the base. Each platform had its own smallish elevator, and there were the ones hugging the side walls had additional ladders. The platforms moved, the upper platforms had to be moved, being mobile, so they didn't block the golems suits in, when ready for combat, when they were marching off to war. Many of these hangars had those hover platforms Hover platforms? Damn it, what is the title of that? That Rapier had seen seen J troops use to patrol less areas inhospitable to foot patrols. Places like swamps, marshes. Is a swamp and a marsh the same thing? I don't think they are. At least not in Hearts of Iron. They're for the two different things, I think. Yeah, fuck it. Places like swamps and heavily contaminated areas. They were also used, some non-combat models were also made to assist in maintenance work in relation to golems. Golems mostly. Golems aren't the easiest thing to repair while in a standing pose. They were in a standing pose. They were easier to repair while laying flat. Okay, enough world building. See you later, folks. Have a nice day.